With 2023 coming to a close, I am so excited to share my top 10 mobile games of 2023. Now, it's important to note that I only included Android and iOS games that are not exclusively available over subscription services. Now, this includes Netflix gaming and Apple Arcade and things of that sort. But without further ado, please leave a like, pop a sub, and comment down below your own lists of the top 10 games of this year. I'm excited to read them, and let's get right into it. Now that the intro's done, it's time to come clean. I actually have my top 15 games for you all. It was way too hard for me to narrow it down to 10 this year, so just keep in mind these are in no particular order, and I hope you still enjoy this fantastic list of games. First up, we have A Slight Chance of Saw Blades. Now, this is a fantastic high-score chaser with great pixel art and a lot of personality. Now, the entire premise of this game is obviously to avoid saw blades, but you jump over these saw blades in order to add to your score. And the longer you survive, the harder things get, and man, does it get chaotic, and it's just so satisfying to get better and better at this game. It is tough as nails, but there's also a competitive aspect because there are leaderboards where you can stack your score against others. And some people are absolutely crazy at this game, but it is so addicting and very fun to pick up for 1 to 2 minutes at a time when you have some free time. So definitely check it out. Next up, we have Dung Greed. Now, this is an action roguelike that feels like a mix between Rogue Legacy as well as Soul Knight, and it really does work well. There is tons of weaponry and things to collect and discover in this game and experiment with, and every single run is satisfying, especially when you beat your previous run. There's consistent progression in between runs too, and I love the pixel art, I love the art style and sound design. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and when it comes to the action roguelikes on mobile, this is one of the best, and I still think it's overlooked to this day, so show it some love. Next, we have Words Collide. Now, I'm a sucker for word puzzle games, and this is no different. And this is a puzzle game where you shift around lettered tiles in order to create words and get as high of points as possible. And there's multiple game modes that will change up these basic gameplay mechanics depending on what you want to play. But my favorite part of this is its asynchronous multiplayer, where you can take your turn whenever you want, and then it sends that turn to the opponent, and they can take their turn whenever they want. So you don't have to crank out one whole game when you have time. You can just pick it up, play it, and put it down, which is great. So if you love word puzzle games, you need to give this a shot. Next, we have Elderland, which is a Metroidvania, and I still feel like there's very few Metroidvanias on offer on mobile, and Elderland is a fantastic port with fantastic touch controls as well as controller support. And I feel like this just boils down everything that makes a Metroidvania fun and good and puts it into this game. It doesn't do anything mind-blowing, but what it does incredibly well. So if you like what you see, I guarantee you'll like playing it yourself. And it's still one of the best Metroidvanias on mobile to date, in my opinion. So check it out. This is Farlight 84, and I think it is by far the best Battle Royale game available on mobile to date. And it feels like a mixture between Apex Legends and Fortnite, and it also feels very unique in and of itself. The jetpack gameplay and the high skill ceiling really keep you coming back for more, and I love the depth of the characters themselves. That you'll find a character that you really like to play, I almost guarantee it, and this is a blast with friends, not to mention that it is cross-play and cross-progression with PC, and I've done that myself and played with my buddy on PC, and it's been a blast. I highly suggest this one, even if you're kind of burnt out on the BR formula. Next, we have Luck Be A Landlord. Now, this is a really weird one to see, and you have to try it to understand it, in my opinion. Now this feels like a roguelike deck builder of sorts, where you just spin a slot machine and you get to choose the symbols that appear on the slot machine, and you do this in order to earn more money and increase your chances of getting big payouts in order to pay your rent. And that is the only way you can pay your rent to your landlord. So you have to reach certain amounts of money within a certain amount of spins in order to continue. And it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but this is very addicting and it plays incredibly well on mobile. It's something you need to try to believe. Just trust me. Now this is Dungeons of Aether, and this is a single player RPG with dice battling mechanics, and they are so fun, and it has a surprising amount of depth, even though a lot of it is luck too. It really strikes that perfect balance between luck and skill, and that's what keeps me coming back for more. And the fact that it's single player with an optional mode that feels like a roguelike is fantastic. And man, when it comes to art style and sound design, it is top notch. You will find yourself humming the music of this game, and I feel like this developer just does not miss. If you love single player RPGs or if you like dicey dungeons, you need to give this one a play. Next, we have VOBs, and I still think this is a hidden gem and it has not gotten the love it deserves. It is a match 3 game of sorts where you place blobs of various different values on the board, and they will merge together and then disappear depending on how many you have matching. And the further and further you go in levels, the more obstacles and other mechanics get thrown into the mix, where you have to really think through your moves, because one move could screw up the whole run if you do it at the wrong time or in the wrong moment. So if you enjoy puzzle games that really push your brain to the limits, this is one of them. I highly suggest it. Next, we have Madness Endless. Now, this is a very unique single-player stealth game that was built from the ground up for mobile. And each level consists of you slingshotting yourself through enemies in order to assassinate them, but you also have to avoid detection while you're maneuvering through these environments. And there's a full storyline to boot that is actually pretty interesting, and it keeps you curious and wanting to know more. And the environments are absolutely gruesome and disgusting and depressing, and the boss fights are so cool. One of the most unique experiences I've had this year, and I bet it will be for you too. This is Omega Strikers, and it feels like a mixture between air hockey and League of Legends. And I know that sounds like onions and ice cream, but it's more like PB&J. Now, you utilize a character with their own unique abilities and play style or position that they like to play in, and then you work alongside your 2 other teammates in order to score goals with a disc. And you can manipulate that disc with your abilities or just hit it normally, and you would not believe how much teamwork this takes and how complex and deep the mechanics are. It's very simple to understand the goal of this game, but man, is the skill ceiling so high, and it will keep you coming back over and over again, especially since it features cross-play, cross-progression, and controller support. Next, we have Dear Vengeance, and this touts itself as a horror platforming game, and it is very strange. The overarching storyline here will keep you curious and wanting to know more, and you never feel like you quite get what's going on, but the mechanics themselves turn everything upside down. So for instance, in most platforming games, you're trying to collect coins and get collectibles. Well, in this one, you want to avoid coins or they will kill you. And there's just certain things that this game does, such as that make you completely think about platforming games in a different and unique way, and that's why I totally enjoyed this one. It's free to download and try, so you might as well. Next up, we have Warm Snow, and this is an action roguelike akin to games like Hades, and as far as Hades-like action roguelikes go, this is as close as it gets, while also being unique in and of itself. Now, I love the art style, the sound design, as well as the theme of this game, and I really do like how fluid and fast the combat is. There's a lot of different unique items and builds and passive effects that play off of a sword mechanic where you can throw these swords and then retrieve them for extra damage. And you'll see that in the gameplay before you. If you like fast, fluid, action-packed games, this will keep you coming back over and over again, and it's consistently getting updated with DLC, as well as it used to be online only, and now it's offline only. so you have no excuse not to get it. Next, we have Coromon, and this is a monster catching RPG similar to games like Pokemon, and it's very unfortunate. I feel like a lot of people have written this game off as yet another Pokemon clone, but that could not be further from the truth. This does a lot of things differently, a lot of quality of life improvements too with the formula overall, and I think it's one of the better monster catching games regardless of platform. This is by far the best monster catching game on mobile, but this can rival the best on other platforms. I highly suggest it. For the price tag, you have hours upon hours of monster catching fun, and it is super addicting. Get it. Next, we have Ederspire, and this is an MMORPG, and I have not gotten into an MMORPG since old school RuneScape, and this is the first one that really got its hooks into me ever since. And that is a very special compliment to behold. And this is so fun. It is completely not pay to win. The only things you can spend money on in this game is cosmetics or things that do not alter your armor or any of your statistics. So grinding pays off. This is only play to play. And I love that about it. It's so simple. It's so satisfying. It's a great game to have on the side while you're watching shows. I can't wait to see where this game goes. And it's consistently getting updates all the time. Last but not least, we have Vtic. Now, this is a turn-based tactics game where you play as a mech and you have to wipe out enemies on each board that you're on in order to proceed. And in between levels, sometimes you will get the opportunity to upgrade your mech with new abilities or new attacks that will open up more strategic possibilities the further and further you get. Now, as you can see, this has a very unique art style. It has great sound design. I love the soundtracks especially. And as far as turn-based tactics games go, this is by far the best one I've played this year. And I highly suggest its high price tag, even though it is high, because it's that good. Alright guys, those are my top 10 mobile games of 2023. Don't forget to leave a like, pop a sub, and comment down below your favorite games of the year. I can't wait to see them. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, and take it easy.